We bought this to work with a Quadra-Fire pellet stove. We also have one hooked up to an Enviro pellet stove. Works great on both. I love not having to wake up to a cold living room. I set it to turn the stove on about half an hour before I usually get up, and it just sits out there making the house all warm again. I don't have to remember to turn it down when I go to bed. It's programmed and takes care of itself. I have noticed that we go through less pellets because of this thermostat and the programming. That is a huge plus. Using this to control my pellet stove, Whitfield Optima 3. Last winter I ran the stove day and night, but there were times when the room the stove was in got to almost 80 degrees. Then I would manually shut it down whenever I noticed it, but then I would find myself freezing a couple of hours later until I turned it back on. Now I use the thermostat function on this to set the temperature at 72 and leave it alone. On really cold days, it will run 24 hours non-stop. But on warmer days it will shut down for a few hours and then kick back on when it needs to. I installed the black box directly to the stove. It is powered by AA batteries, included. Then the remote needed minimal programming to set it up. I place the remote in a spot that isn't too hot or too cold and leave it alone. It seems to work not by turning the entire stove on or off, but by controlling the flow of pellets and the blower. The stove is in the on position at all times with the fan on high and the heat on low. When the preset high temp is reached, pellets stop dropping and the blower turns off when the flame dies. When the temp drops 4 degrees, the pellets start falling again, the blower kicks back on. So long as I keep the hopper filled with pellets, it runs just fine. I'm also saving about a bag of pellets each week. At first I was using the timer function as well, but it only added an extra layer of complication. I purchased this to replace a 10-year-old unit which is still operational, but the LCD screen is harder to read. I love this new unit with the backlit display. It is much easier to read. The fonts are larger and clearer. The new remote was easy to set up and sync with my current receiver unit. I did not have to replace the receiver unit, so I am saving it if I need it later. I received the product very quickly. Of note, there is a program function where the remote will turn the stove on and off according to a schedule. Not sure if I will use that function for safety reasons, maybe I am overcautious. I wish I bought this a while ago because it's so much easier to read. I definitely recommend this. I purchased this remote to use with a new set of gas fireplace logs and it works flawlessly. It has 3 simple modes: on, off and thermostat. The fireplace turns itself off and on when it gets within 2 degrees of the desired temperature. You can set it and ignore it, which is exactly what I was looking for. My brother set this unit out very quickly and mounted the remote without a hitch. I do not use the auto programming, so I can't speak to the ease of using that feature. I did take the advice of other reviewers and bought some good batteries, AA and AAA, to use rather than the ones that came with it. Click link in description for more reviews.